in front of you for the alignment classes for today. So as we know that yesterday we have discussed about the 3 poses. That was your Tadasana first, the organic pose. Then we have discussed about your chair pose and tree pose. So today we are going to further extend our journey about the alignments, like to learn about more standing poses, the grounding, the stability that we are going to cover today. So basically, the poses which we are going to cover today, it is now from the basics, we are moving a little bit towards the intermediate section today, like the poses which stress the lateral line of your fascia, of your trunk, the poses that will give you the good hip opening, the poses that will give you the more strengthening of your lower body muscles and the upper body muscles. So you can feel how to stand, you can feel that how to get more balance on your body to get stabilize the poses and feel the grounding and stability. So to next pose which we are going to cover today. So with me here is Shobit once again. So Shobit, could you please come to the pose that we call the triangle pose, Trikonasana. The triangle pose, Trikonasana. As we have discussed yesterday, guys, that the first and foremost thing, how to come into the pose. So starting with the pose, like here, what will be the distance? Wait for a while. What will be the distance for beginners, for intermediate, for advanced people? So I'm telling you here, guys, that with the beginners, if I have to go to the pose, simply you can say, like, if the person is coming from here, from the basic position, from the Tadasana, like as we have discussed for the beginners yesterday, the Tadasana a little bit, it should be slightly 1.5 inch apart. So here you can feel some hip opening, no compression on your hip joint because this is the ball and socket joint. So the next thing which we are going to cover now, how to come into the pose easily, like for beginners, if I'm talking about for the beginners, so just take a 3-inch gap, only 3 feet apart. That's it for the beginners. Or if you feel in this pose that if your pelvis is drooping forward or the pelvis is going one side, or you can feel that my one side is more tight, suppose the right side is tight, left is less tight. So just, it's not mandatory that we have discussed yesterday, we have to work on the universal alignments. We can change the alignment and we can work on the individual alignment, that we need a good eyes on the asymmetries of your students. A good teacher is that who knows where a micro alignment or the micro misalignment can change the whole pose. And if you just observe that what is going on with that kind of things, that can create a good posture. So we have to focus more that if suppose Shobit has right side tight, suppose the Shobit has right hip is tight. So I have to ask to him that just try to reduce the space between 2 legs. Very good. Not 3 feet, just take it 2.5 feet. It's not written anywhere that if the person has a problem, change the alignment according to the person. Here we can see now, if the right side is tight, right? The right side is tight, so the right hip is tilting this way, right? Can you bring your hand here, please? So right hip is going forward, it is rotating like this. So if this is happening here, the pelvis is not in line, right? The pelvis is not in line. The right hip is going forward, left hip is back. So what is happening here? That more compression on the right side. So what can I ask to my student? Like if the right hip is going like this way, if I ask Shobit, let's bring your this right feet slightly backwards. That's it. Now you can see the both hips in one line. Right? So just change the alignment. If right hip is going inside or the right knee is also turning inside, just take this feet, right feet slightly backwards. So you can create a space. You can release the stiffness from the inner thigh muscles and you can stretch it properly. Now, the next thing we can see, if the person has intermediate level, right? Okay, so triangle pose we're talking about, like this is the one way you can do, like 3 feet apart or 3 inches gap over there. So what we say, guys, that 3 to 3.5 feet apart you can take, or 4 if you have a good hip opening on the advanced level. So basics, like first and foremost we start with the feet, as we have discussed earlier on the yesterday's class with the Trikonasana, right? So the feet is forming inside, right? If it is dropping your arches, there is no arches on your feet. So as a person to just try to press the outer edge of your feet and lift your toes up on the both side. So you can see easily there is an arch. You can create an arch and the muscle activation is there, so you can feel the grounding, more grounding, because this is the foundation and the foundation has to be firm and strong too. Then we ask the client that after this you feel stable, you can check first and foremost pelvic is neutral. This is the first goal. Spine straight, shoulder open, right? Pelvic neutral. Then we ask the client that just turn to rotate your ankle a little bit out, 90 degree. Then we have to check here too, that is my pelvis is neutral or not. We don't have to go to the pose first. We have to check that this stability is here, arch is here, knee has to be facing forward on that side now, right? Knee has to be faced forward. It has not to be rolled inside or outside. After that, we ask the client that my client is feeling more stable here. Now bring your hands up. So guys, this part also has to be focused. It has not to be go this. Again, see, as my client is going above from here, pressure coming to the neck muscles and pressure coming to the shoulder joint. So it has to be here on your shoulder level. This, right? Elbows straight, eyes of the elbows facing forward here. You can rotate slightly if you feel that it's not rotating properly. Muscle, the finger muscle has to be engaged. It has not to be relaxed. Just make sure engaged so we can feel or distribute the weight everywhere from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist, right? So muscle engagement is here. No hyperextension should be there. Ribs soft. Soften your ribs, soften your ribs. Very good. So you can enjoy the breath with the pose here, right? Now we ask the client, so that's why I always talk, guys, that break the pose, right? Break the pose into the intervals. How to come, how to stay, how to feel, how to come out. So then we ask the client, we don't have to move, like if the client is moving, slightly drooping like this is wrong. This is what is happening here, compression, right? We don't need a compression, we need a lengthening, proper lengthening from the outer part of the trunk. The lateral fascial lines we have to stretch here, which we never used in our activity of daily living. This is the best pose if you're practicing, if you have a sitting job, standing jobs, and no activities during the days. Then we ask, and we have to cut this part. We have to cut this part. So cut from here, lengthen this part first. As you cut, you have to move from the hip joint. As you cut, and go for the pose. Here we go. And lengthening. If you have a good neck flexibility, it's okay to look over this hand. If neck issue is there, look forward. And here what we need, a complete lengthening from here, right? The complete lengthening. If the person has a problem, like he or she could not reach to the knees, we can use the chair. Just bring your hand here, or this way also you can use the cushion. Stay here for a while and lengthen this way, because the goal is lengthening this part and lengthening this too. There is no compression we need. It's not you are drooping here. that is also wrong. As we progress more, as the client gets more flexibility, then we can change again and just you can place the hand here, or you can use the block too on the chair, right? So avoid the wrist pain. If you have a wrist pain, if you are going with the hard surface, it creates compression here, guys, right? So this modification we can do, like lengthening this way. Next modification have come. So you can, as we progress more little bit, you can use the block here too. And if the knees is going hyper flexible here, if you feel that my knee is hypermobile, so just add the block like this way. So here you can lock the knee and ask the person to lift your toes out. And if the knee is moving from here inside, the kneecap is moving inside, or knee is rotating inside, you have to ask the client to roll your thigh muscles out. Roll your thigh out, roll your thigh out, roll your thigh out, roll your thigh out. That's it. And you can see the knee is facing forward. Lift your toes up, quadriceps activated here. Lift your back toes up, quadriceps activated here. And a complete lengthening, guys, right? The complete lengthening, and neck muscle has to be relaxed. Finger muscle has to be engaged. So this is another modification you can use for that. Release. Another way, if you see, you can check with the wall too. You can check with the wall here. So the chair is here now, right? And Shobhit, you have to come like this way. So here just you can hold the chair, right, for the firm grip. So to activate the back leg, I ask my client to press the wall with your outer feet. Can you feel the engagement here? Yes. So to activate the back leg for the beginners, because sometimes the beginners, what they do, they don't know how to activate this leg and they try to force and create whole weight and on the front leg. So this leg is not active. So when this leg is not active, whole weight is going here, knee is going inside, outside, and not in the middle. So for the beginners, just to bring the proprioception to them, use wall, use props to align the muscle. We don't need an alignment, we need a realign. So realign, we have to realign the muscles with the base. So as he is pressing the outer feet, lift your toes up from here. Now, simply for the beginners, that's it. Just try to feel the stretch here. Right? Try to feel the stretch. We don't have to go for the final pose according to the need of the student. So here only we can reach. Can you feel the stretch on the lateral lines? Yes. So for the beginners, this is the best stretch. Preparatory stretch, you can say the preparation. The preparation of the pose like this way, rather to go final into the pose. So preparatory exercises, the preparation stretches for triangle. With the beginners, you can use these two things. And for the beginners also, release. For the beginners also, we can do one more thing, that if the person, can you please face that side? And again, for the pose, that's it. Stop it here, hands on the side. You have to bring the attention from where we have to move so you can use easily. Like you can bring this grip and just place the big toe on the hip joint and forcing from here. And just ask the client to move from here. Just move from here. So you can feel that both sides has a lengthening. And you feel any compression on any hip? Right? So both sides has a lengthening. This you can use. Place the big toe on the hip joint here. Just press from here and ask the client to move from here, not from the pelvis completely. And here you can feel the lengthening. So I'm giving you the back view of this pose, dear, right? Relax, brother. Just can you please face that side towards the wall? Now see, just stop it here. See the pelvic. The pelvis from here, if you can see, it is in one line. Right? The pelvis is in one line here. Then we ask the client, just rotate on the left side. Left, can you please rotate on the left? Here we go. So pelvic has to be neutral again. You can see the pelvic neutral, right? The pelvic is neutral in one line. Now, go to the pose, brother. So you can see he is moving from this part. He is moving from hip joint. He is not dropping the whole pelvis on one side. And here we can see the lengthening completely on the spine. We can go slightly more and more. So this way you can see from the back. If the person has a more tightness, suppose sometime the pelvic drooping this way, this is also wrong. This side is drooping more here. So we can ask the client to bring back leg slightly more backwards. Backwards, backwards, backwards. More back here. Yes, that's it. Now you can feel more hip opening. Can you feel the more hip opening here? So this is easily you can, so don't be scared. Don't worry about that. If the pelvis is drooping, why it is drooping? Just think about that, because the muscle is tight here, guys, right? So just when it is drooping, just bring it back so you can create a space. The pose has to create the space. You have to feel the space in the pose. If you are not feeling the space in the pose, you are feeling that any compression, it will give you the ill effects of the pose, not the benefits. More contraindications will be there in relation to the pose. Release, brother. So in triangle pose, guys, if we don't have nothing, like suppose no chair and we have only blocks or wall, so we can make use of a wall also, right, to lengthening properly. To lengthen it properly, you can use the wall too. So just so we go close towards the wall, just take your 3.5 feet distance over there. So here we have to feel, first and foremost, check all the alignments from the feet to the knee, to the pelvis, to the ribs and to the shoulders. So here just to feel the shoulder muscles. So just try to press the scapula, the shoulder blades towards the wall. Just press, don't over press, remember that, right? We have to only engage the muscle, we don't have to over engage the muscles. Now here we can see, soften your ribs slightly, very good. Bring your hands on the side, take your right feet out 90 degree, very nice. So here you have to feel that I am moving with the help of wall. If you feel we don't have to go for the final pose, guys, right? Here you can do slightly some sliding. Just practice the sliding first. Just slide back. Make sure we have to slide up to that much that my pelvis is facing forward. This is the target, guys, right? This is the target, that pelvis has to be neutral. If you are going like this way, this way, you are sliding this way, it's okay. But if you are sliding like this, it doesn't make sense. It creates more imbalances to the muscles. So we have to slide up to that much, that we must have to be noticed in the mind. I have to keep my pelvis neutral. So here you can see the Shobit is going like just to slide. That's it. Again back. So this slide, when you're sliding towards the wall, this can release the fascial lines from here. This can release the tension from the fascia that we never used on the activity on daily living. So slide again, go, 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 go. Here also you can use. If you have a problem with the knee, like your knee is locking like this way, this is also wrong. So just to bring the awareness from the knee, just hold your knee like from here and just slightly bend it, lift your toes up, roll your thigh out, very nice, activation. So now you are not overloading a joint, you are using the correct muscles. Lengthening, rib soft, lateral extension. Here we go. Neck issue is not there. You can look over this left hand. So this way also you can do it. Release. Another way, if you're talking about with this pose, like you can use the strap too. So can you please come here? Just come to the same pose. So what I need, a stabilization, right? So to stabilize that part, I'm placing the strap on the lateral part of the femur here, right? The lateral part of your thigh bone. So I'm stabilizing like this way, so it gives more stabilization, more grip, and go for the pose. Any compression? Can you feel more joint stability now? Right? So on the right hip, you can place this way where the client is moving on which side. So this is the one more. For the stability, for the beginners, we can use it. So this will create more joint stability, as hip is a ball and socket joint, so there is a less chances that of any dislocation or any compression over there. Release. So guys, I have given you so many modifications with the triangle. So you have everything now with the beginners, with the intermediate, with the advanced. So enjoy the pose, feel the stretch on the lateral side, and be happy, be healthy. Thank you.